Today's video is going to be an absolute breakthrough for you creating the best results you've ever created in your life. If you stay till the end, you implement what I'm going to show you, it is a game-breaking principle that I am going to walk you through. What I want you to understand is what you think is holding you back may not be what's holding you back. What holds every single person back is how they see themselves. Now, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, right now, how do I see myself? Do I see myself absolutely capable of achieving anything I desire? Or am I playing the game of life small? And am I settling for small results? Am I setting small goals? Because the size of your goals will always tell you the size you see yourself. Now, if I was starting all over, and I take you back 20 years ago, when I was first really looking to improve my life and make significant changes, this one idea of building a bigger idea of myself is what I would have worked on over and over and over again if I knew then what I know now. So what creates our results is always our image. We can never outperform our self-image. We can change it, but we can never outperform it. In today's video, we're gonna build a new model of the best version of yourself. And I like to call it your future self. Now, understand, in life, there is always a tug of war between the old you and the new you. And if I keep showing up as the old me, I'm going to keep creating the same version, same results, same thoughts, same circumstances, same people I hang out with, and I can never change my results, and I can never change my life. You know, there's a term I use with our clients, and I tell them that we have to break the addiction of our old emotional state. I can't create much better results, even a little better with my same emotional state. And we have to break the habit of being our old self. Now, today, I want to work on not just what your self-image is, but how to change it. Your self-image is the most honest, truest picture you have of yourself on a subconscious level. And our self-image is the foundation of our success. Self-image is an inside game. When you change the image on the inside, you're going to be rewarded by the changes on the outside. So right now, I want you to play along with me, and I want you to build a bigger idea of yourself. So how do you build a bigger idea? I want you to see yourself 10 times bigger than you see yourself right now. What does that person look like? Does that person feel prosperous? Then I want you to feel prosperous right now. Does that person feel successful? I want you to feel successful from this point on, just throughout this video. Now, is that person more confident? I want you to be more confident right now, even if it's for 30 seconds. You're gonna start building a bigger idea of yourself. When you build a bigger idea of yourself, your life changes. You know, I remember a story in my journey. I was talking to my mentor, and he said to me, Arash, you've just got to build a bigger idea of yourself. And I had been working with him at this point for 12 years and being mentored closely. And I never heard him say that. And I said, Bob, what did you just say? He said, I don't remember. I said, go back and think about what you just told me. You said, I have to build a bigger idea of myself. And he never used it in those terms. It just connected with me. And from that moment, I literally saw myself exactly how I wanted to be. And that's what I want you to do today. Just do it for one day. And then we do it the next day. Anybody can do something for one day. Right now, I want you to see yourself enormous. I want you to see yourself confident. I want you to see yourself prosperous. I want you to see yourself in perfect health. I want you to see yourself as you truly are, not who you're pretending to be. And what I'm asking you to do is fall in love with the process of becoming the best version of yourself. When we're on the journey to get better, It's not about perfection. It's about 1% better. It's about course correction. And anybody can be 1% better for a day. And then you do it the next day and the next day. Well, the days are going to turn into weeks. The weeks are going to turn into months. The months are going to turn into years. The years are going to turn into decades. And this is just going to be who you are. Now, let's look at your present results. Your present results always tell you the truth, and they tell you what your image is on the inside. Now, the great part of it is we can always change that image by seeing, feeling, and acting like the person we want to become. So don't get upset about looking at your results, but what I want you to do right now is make up your mind that I'm going to build a 7-figure self-image. I'm going to build a winning self-image. And understand this, when you make up your mind automatically goes to that frequency. Now, I want you just for a moment to play along with me. I want you to think about how I want to live. And I want you, for the next 20 seconds, to close your eyes and only think about how you want to live. Are you free? Are you excited? Are you in complete happiness and joy? Are you of peace of mind? I want you to play that image. The minute you think of that, and I'm going to give you 20 seconds to do this right now. All right, now, I want you to understand when you did that, you went on to a new frequency. You may have only been there for a few seconds. It may not have been the full 20 seconds, but if you could go there, there is a place. And that means we want to keep going there over and over again. Now, understand this. We are only limited by weakness of attention and poverty of imagination. Neville Goddard said this, and it is one of my favorite quotes. Because the only thing keeping us from where we want to be is we're not keeping an absolute relentless obsession about what we want. That's what he means by limited attention. You know, you're weakened by, you're only limited to weakness of attention. And then he says poverty of imagination. You know, our imagination for most adults are limited. It is a dormant muscle. But when you start putting attention and start seeing yourself much bigger, you're going to see the circumstances in your life change almost immediately. You say, no, immediately? I'm telling you, there's going to be little synchronicities that are going to show up because when we're changing, the universe loves giving us signals. Now, understand, to build a bigger image of ourselves, it requires completely new habits. A lot of people want to change without changing, and that's why they never see change. They are constantly inconsistent. They'll do something for a day, 2 days. They'll say, you know what, I'm going to create my dream life, and then they don't see results in a day, they give up on it. It requires letting go of 80% of your old life. Right now, I want you, if you're at home, I want you to take out a piece of paper. And if you're not at home, I want you to commit to yourself that you're going to do this. And I want you to write out your goal. What do you want? For example, I am so happy and grateful now that I have created a life of complete financial freedom. Now, what I want you to do is on this paper, write out 80% of your current life that is not in harmony with that. Those current habits that are not in harmony, and you're going to eliminate those. I literally want you, they're done, they're out of you. By writing it out, you're going to be able to measure it because we only need a few new habits to create a big results. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you the non-negotiable habits of somebody who has a 7-figure winning self-image. Now, the process of growth from whom and what you are to who and what you want to become is where the work is. The work is changing the image. The image is the most honest picture we have of ourselves. Now, in order to do that, we have to radically accept different ideas. So how do I accept a different idea? I just give myself a command and discipline myself that from this moment on, I am creating an enormous image of myself. I'm going to see myself much bigger than I've ever seen myself. And at this point, you're going to say no to anything that is not that. You're going to say absolutely, you're going to refuse to accept anything that is not that. When you radically accept a bigger idea of yourself, you'll know when you've done it because you stopped worrying about how it's going to happen. See, the how and the when does not matter. I want you to trust the wisdom of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is your habit mind. Hence, I said we have to create new habits. How is a habit started? With one idea. And then it's one idea, put constant attention on over and over and over again. And what if you lived in a life where you never worried about circumstances? You can have that life. But understand this, success and failure are automatic. It's done by your programming. And if you haven't watched my lesson on programming on my YouTube page, you want to watch that because I go in depth on how to change your programming step by step. Now, let's get back to your want because there's no need to change an image and think bigger of ourselves if we don't want something greater. Understand your soul is for expansion and growth. That's why we want to always keep our results under construction. We want to constantly be going after more because as we go after more, we're growing more. But what do you really want? This is the most important question you can ask yourself. How do I really want to live? Because your want is connected to how you want to live. Now, I've been in this industry. I've coached hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people over the last 2 decades almost. And the one common denominator, the one thing everybody wants is freedom. Well, freedom is not free. You've got to pay the price in full. And that price is transforming yourself. Now, when you have your want, we have to turn it into an obsession. What did Neville say? We're only limited by weakness of attention. Well, if I have a want, but I never put attention on it, it's never going to show up in my life. I'm never going to experience it. But when you make your want a magnificent obsession where you wake up and it literally becomes a love story. When you're in love, it's always on your mind. I want you to think of you in this bigger image, this bigger idea of yourself, that you're not wearing masks anymore. You are completely comfortable with who you are. You love yourself unconditionally. To build a bigger image of ourselves, we've got to create a lot more love for ourselves. And when you love yourself unconditionally, life becomes magical. Now, right now, you may be listening to my voice, you may be watching me, and you may say, oh, you've done it, but I've tried to do it, it's never worked. I'm going to tell you why it's never worked right now. But if I can do it, you can do it. Now, I want you to look at where you are. That's not very hard. And I want you to get back into what do you really want? How do I really want to live? Now, right now, there's a gap between where you are and where you want to go. And it's literally a brick wall that people run into every day if they don't understand this. There is a paradigm. A paradigm is your programming. It's a part of your programming. And it's a multitude of habits stored in your subconscious mind. Now, the reason your subconscious mind is going to play tricks on you and say, oh, come on, what are you doing? We're doing fine now. Well, because its job is to always defend its mechanism. Its mechanism is comfort. It does not want you to change. That's why your subconscious is resistant to change. It's not because your subconscious is, it's because the paradigm is stored in your subconscious mind. But once we elevate to create great paradigms, that wall is going to come crashing down. But how does that wall come crashing down? You have to make an irrevocable, committed decision that I'm going to do whatever it takes. And from this moment on, I only want you to see you in that bigger image of the person who's already achieved what you want to achieve. And when you make a definite decision, the wall comes crashing down, and now you have a clear path from where you are to where you want to go. Now, we're not done there. It doesn't mean you're going to do it. Now it's what you do every day. Are you going to give in to the doubts, or are you going to say, which I want you to say, whenever doubt comes up, that was my old self. This is where I'm going now. This is how I'm living. I am living a life of freedom. I have the most amazing experiences. Now, when you do that, automatically, you're going to be thinking on a different frequency. And when you're thinking on a different frequency, what you attract into your life are going to be different ideas, different people, the right mentors, the right circumstances to the fulfillment of how you want to live. Now, understand this number one fact. We've got to increase your worthiness. The subconscious mind will only allow us to have in our life what we feel we deserve. But what if I told you the only thing you have to do with worthiness is accept the idea that I am worthy? It is your divine right to be worthy. It is your divine right to be wealthy. It is your divine right to be abundant. But most people are going into their old life, so they keep tapping into their old image, which creates their old results over and over again. All changes in life begin with your self-image. Now, I'm going to say that again. It's so important you understand this so you prioritize changing it. All changes in life begin with your self-image, and the changes take place in elevated feelings. You notice your feelings are changing now. Now you're always happy. You're always confident. Elevated emotions. Now you're on the frequency and the emotional state of what you want. Now, why are emotions so important? Why are feelings so important? The universe responds to your emotional state more than anything else. And the second thing the universe responds to is what you believe is already true. That is why I want you to prioritize building a much bigger idea of yourself. Now, right now, you and I have, from where we are to where we want to go, we have an identity gap. What's identity? Another word for self-image. And so we want to say, what is that one habit that if I made part of my new image, that I would not just see myself bigger, I would be operating with more confidence, more joy, more gratitude. That is the idea that I want you to start implementing right away. Maybe your idea that would change the game for you is you're procrastinating all the time right now. Then what are you going to do? You're going to do everything right away. You're going to do it now, do it now, do it now. That's the identity gap. Maybe it's you're always watching, you're wanting evidence before you do something. Well, you have the law backwards. You're never going to see the evidence until you go out and do something. You're never ready for a thing. I'm never ready for a thing until I do it. These are examples of how to actively build a new image. And I'll tell you, the best way to build a new image, it is much easier to behave your way into a new identity than it is to think your way into a new identity. Now, this is a game between you and you. So how do you see you? Just through this video, are you starting to see yourself bigger? It is essential you see yourself bigger. But understand, you are absolutely infinite. You deserve infinite riches, infinite abundance, infinite health, infinite relationships. There's no end to where you could take yourself, but your job is to understand and become more and more aware of the greatness is inside of you. I can't give you greatness, you already have it. Now, right now in this moment, you're still watching this video because there is another version of inside of you that's dying to come out. This version is that other self that you've got to get acquainted to. This other self is your future self that knows how to do so much more. And it can do 10 times better than what you're doing right now. But your job and my job is to let that person out. Now, how do you actively change and actively build a bigger idea of yourself? I want you to pay really close attention to what I'm saying now. I want you to act as if you're the best and nobody is better than you. Now, you're going to think, oh, that's ego. That's not ego. You're training yourself to how to build certainty within yourself. I'm asking you to adopt the mindset and habits of someone that is on top of their game and exudes excellence. Imagine if everything you touch, it comes with excellence. There's people doing it right now. You can do it. I'm talking about setting a standard so high that your results elevate automatically. This is not arrogance. It's absolute certainty. I want you to carry yourself with an attitude of certainty in everything you do. When you act as if you're the best, magic happens. You believe it. you start believing it more and more every day. And when you believe it, you become it. And that's the beauty of this. Some of you right now are watching this thinking, I'm not close to being the best. What if I told you, who cares? The beauty of this principle is you don't have to believe it, you just have to practice it. The repetition of doing it over and over again and saying to yourself, I'm the best, you're gonna start walking into that person. And that's the best part of this principle. But what happens when that voice comes in and says, I'm not good enough? This is exactly what that voice is. It's a liar. Say, that was my old self. Every time you do it, you're rewriting your new image. You are fusing with your future self. But acting as if you're the best doesn't mean you ignore your weaknesses. You write down your weaknesses. My greatest insecurities and weakness have turned into my greatest strengths. But most people look at it poorly. They say, oh, I don't want to let anyone know I have a weak image. Trust me, the world knows energy doesn't lie. Stop resisting that and start working on it. You can change anything. Now, I have a question for you. Is your old story still controlling you? Now, you've got to understand, we can rewrite the story. Your story determines your potential. It's your identity. Now, your past is just a story. Stop choosing the same thoughts that you've always chosen, the same feelings that you've always had, and the same actions, because all you're doing is ingraining the story that must change to create the new results. So how do you narrate your story that impacts you today? Because what we do today is going to impact our future results. I want you to write out in a description of the person you're going to be from this point forward. And then I want you to record it. I want it to be at least a page in description of the person you're going to be. I'm so happy and grateful now. I'm living a life of complete financial freedom. Ever since I made up my mind that I'm going to build a bigger idea of myself, my discipline has improved. I've got impeccable discipline. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I built so much trust into myself. My trust keeps getting better and better. Automatically, I feel worthy. I don't just say I'm worthy anymore, I feel worthy. I am completely confident and I'm doing what I love and loving what I'm doing. That's an example of a story. Then I want you to record it and listen to it every day. Every day. There's nothing that is going to change your image outside of acting on an idea in a moment than listening to your story over and over again. How do you think your story was created? It's the repetition of an idea you accepted. Now remember this, your behaviors are going to need to upgrade, but the behaviors upgrade automatically as you start seeing yourself bigger. Your behaviors always follow your story, but your future drives your present. If you do not see yourself bigger, you're going to keep doing the same thing in the present moment. But when you adopt this idea that I am the best, I am worthy and deserving of all the good that I desire, you're going to see your actions in the present moment are going to start changing. Your thinking is going to automatically start changing. But success only comes to being true to the image that you have inside of you. So why don't we make a decision today that we're going to be true to our future self? And understand this, your future self is a totally different person than you are today. It is much wiser. It has such an elevated mental toughness. It is doing things that you've never even dreamed of doing. What you're saying yes to, your future self is saying no to. But remember this, today's self-image creates my future results. So what I do every day is impacting what I'm creating in my life. Now, who is the person you want to become? I want you to answer this question without any influence of your past or present experiences. Most people just say, oh, I'm going to do 1% better for this year, 5% better. Is that what you really want? Because one thing, if I was to do this all over again, the one thing, if I take you back 2 decades, that I would do different is I would have even dreamed bigger than I dreamed. So I want you to really ask yourself, I'm trading my life for what I do. And the time is going to go by anyway. You might as well create absolute amazing experiences. But the more clearly define the person you want to be is, the easier it will become. But here's the trap, and I'm going to give it to you right now, and I don't want you to fall into it. In order for you to become what you want, you must overcome the old you, and the side effect is a lot of discomfort. When you get discomfort, do not hesitate. I want you to do the opposite of the discomfort right away. When you take action, you change your image. Now, every day, we're either choosing the old life or a world-class life. The world-class life is the bigger version of you. You deserve it. Stop choosing comfort. Every time you choose comfort, you're saying no to your dreams. Every time you procrastinate, you're saying no to your dreams. Now, I told you, I'm going to end this with some massive identity-based behaviors that's going to change the game. And these are 7-figure identity-based behaviors. Number 1, I want you to develop an amazing attitude of yourself. Your attitude is a combination of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Now, if you want to create a massive quantum leap in your life, you're going to have to change the attitude of how you see yourself. From this moment, I want you to see yourself 10 times bigger than you see yourself. But I want you to see that every day. I want you to see yourself walking tall. I want you to see yourself confident. I want you to see yourself prosperous. I want you to see yourself with peace of mind. The second one is definiteness of a goal. I want you to have a goal that is worthy of you, but I want you to commit to it with every cell of your being. And don't worry about the how. Trust the wisdom of your subconscious mind. As you improve your image, you're going to improve your life. The third one, the impression of increase. I want you to leave every single person better off than you found them. That could be in the grocery store, you give somebody a compliment. And I want you to follow the golden rule for yourself. I want you to wish for everybody what you wish for yourself. But I want you, what you want for yourself, create a mental image of everybody you see that's what they get for themselves too. Leave everybody better off than you found them. This one idea will take you from where you are to soar your income. That's called the law of increase. You have to develop great focus. When you're distracted, understand that's the old image. So every time you get distracted, say, nope, I'm gonna bulletproof my focus. Focus is essential. Focus is an investment. And focus is what every single 7-figure identity, every single person who has a 7-figure income has. And I want you to have that for yourself. Your relationship to money. I want you to have a great relationship to money. Go watch my money lesson on YouTube, and I promise you, you're gonna change your relationship with it overnight. If you don't have a great relationship with money, money's gonna go the other way. Remember this, money is shy and timid. It must be attracted by the person we become. Every time you get a bill, I want you to see it as a check. I want you to start spending $10,000 in your mind every day. You see a nice car, you say, I can have that. See, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real or what's imagined. Now, that is 5 identity-based behaviors, but I'm not done. I'm gonna give you, and you could choose the one that you can activate right away. Don't try to activate all of these at once. Pick one that you're gonna activate. The next one is acting on ideas right away. Nothing has changed my image, my results, my finances more than doing it now. See, most people are waiting for when the time is right, then I'll do it. The time will never be right. You have to do it before you're ready. That's the time to do it. Do it now, do it now, do it now. Then operate everything going back to your attitude with a sense of urgency. I do everything in a calm, confident manner, but I do it right away. Now, face your insecurities. Your insecurities are your greatest gift. Stop burying them down, because I will tell you this. You can't create the future you desire with insecurities that you currently have. Work on them one at a time. When you work on one, it's going to impact the other. I want you to see yourself so comfortable in your own skin. And your self-talk. Your self-talk creates your results. What are you saying to yourself silently? I want you to bulletproof your self-talk. I want that to be congruent with your goal. I want your self-talk to be speaking abundance into existence. I want your self-talk to always be accurate. I want you to really practice gratitude in everything you do. When you work on these, it's going to change the game. It is absolutely going to change the game. Now, when you look at how important image is, and I can tell you this because image absolutely changed my life. I remember my mentor told me, he said, Arash, for your life to change, you're going to have a significant self-image. And when I did that, everything changed for me. It literally changed overnight. The world sees you the way you see yourself. So the question is, who are you committed to becoming? Now, I want you to take full ownership and understand that you are releasing blame. You cannot blame anybody if you want to build a bigger image of yourself and if you want to create bigger and better results. Understand, you and I are the only problem we're ever going to have and the only solution. Now, if this video helped shift your mindset, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let's build something bigger together.